Hello there, FPL managers, and welcome to the Fantasy Football Hub Game Week 12 Best Transfers video. It's good to be back. My name's James. I'm joined, as always, by Abdul, aka FPL Salah. Abdul, you're suffering from some allergic reactions today. I assume you're allergic to the international break.
Yeah, that's exactly it, man. Yeah, just feeling a wee bit, a wee bit of reaction. Probably is international break. Just need the FPL back. So yeah, glad it's back this weekend.
Yes, I'm delighted to be back talking to you. It has been quite an eventful international break, and well, I'm sure we'll touch on some of the key events as we go through this video. Now, we've only done one of these videos before, viewers, and when we did it, we did one defender, one midfielder, and one forward. We're already flouting those rules because Abdul has two midfielders he wants to talk about today. So we're doing four players today. And without further ado, I think we should get right into it. Firstly, starting with our defender, and it's Sergio Reguilon. Abdul, talk to me about Reguilon. Why have you gone for him?
Yeah, I just think I mean, just with him being a wing back, and obviously as you know, Antonio Conte as a new manager, we know from Conte's previous teams that he puts a great deal of emphasis on the wing backs, and gets them to attack. So we've seen him doing that at Inter Milan, recently with Hakimi and Ivan Perisic, and even in his in his time in Italy and Juventus, he'd done the exact same. So even his time at Chelsea, he used Alonso and Victor Moses as his wing backs, and I remember that those two seasons, Alonso got something like 13 goals and 7 assists under him. So I mean, we know he's going to use them, use Reguilon and Emerson in that same formation and in the same playing style. We've seen the formation at Everton, that indicated that as well. So yeah, I really think Reguilon and Emerson are going to be good options going forward, but I've gone for Reguilon because I think he is proven in the Premier League. He got 6 assists last season in only 26 starts. And even this season as well, if you look at his creativity stats, it's the best among the Spurs defence. So yeah, I think they start off with a really good fixture in Leeds, and they've got a great run coming up as well. So yeah, he's definitely one to look out for.
Yeah, I mean, you saw against Everton, they of course kept a clean sheet, which isn't necessarily a given for that Spurs side this season. But also, I believe Reguilon had the best attacking stats of any of Spurs' players, which I'm not sure whether that's an indictment on the Spurs attacking players or or reflective of just how attacking he is in that side. But either way, absolutely, you're right to point out his fixtures: Leeds, Burnley, Brentford, Norwich, and Brighton in the next five. It doesn't really get better
Mm.
than that, especially if you're a new manager coming in. So certainly one to keep an eye out. Just a quick question on Reguilon, Abdul, because there are obviously a lot of premium defenders who are doing brilliantly at the moment. We think of Cancelo, Reece James, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Do you feel like, with all of those in mind, Livramento, of course, is also doing very well, that there's room for a Spurs defender?
I mean, yeah, I think so. I mean, I think maybe like as a fourth defender, like I think a lot have got either a double City or a double Chelsea, and one City, one Chelsea. That's like that's three defenders there already. So either as a fourth defender. I mean, I really think he could replace somebody like Diaz. I know City's defense is amazing, but you've got to assume everyone's going to have Cancelo. And if you've got Cancelo, then maybe Diaz could be the one to sacrifice because he for like 6.3 million years now, he doesn't really provide that much attacking threat. And that it could be better value going for Reguilon. But I mean, that's if you want to keep the three at the back system. But yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, he could be your fourth defender. And I think he's a better option than Livramento going forward anyway for the next 4 or 5 game weeks. So yeah, I would be playing him again, ahead of Livramento. I know he's had a lot of points in the past few weeks, but I don't think he's gonna keep that up. At the rate that he's been
Breaking
getting
my
it. So
heart. Breaking my heart. Abdul
yeah,
Livramento is my third
it's all
defender,
on everyone's page.
let alone my fourth or fifth. Right, okay, let's move on to the first of your two midfielders. It's another Spurs player, HeungMin Son. Bought him in last week. Was disappointed at his performance against Everton, but You reckon, Abdul, that there's still reason to keep the faith?
Yeah, I mean, it's mainly because of the fixtures and the fact that the new manager. I mean, he's just so proven, in the system. And I was talking about the wing backs, but he also really gets the best out of the attackers as well. Last season with Inter Milan, Lukaku and Martinez had a great partnership. I think Lukaku got 20 plus goals. Martinez got about 15, 16 goals. So he likes to play that kind of with the two forwards. And you with Son, he's already a proven asset. He's already actually been performing quite well this season already, even with Spurs playing poorly. So I can only see his output improving, over the next few weeks. Especially over the next five. And yeah, just with those fixtures, I think you've got to have one of the Spurs boys in.
Son is currently representing his national team, South Korea. Is there any
Mm-hmm.
concern? I think their final fixture is tonight. Are you confident that that
Yeah,
gives him
tonight.
enough time to return back to England and be match fit for the weekend?
Yeah, definitely. I think with the professional players. I mean, I think he'll probably get a private jet back. Not long after the match is finished, or maybe the next morning. I think 3 or 4 days rest is enough. He'll probably get back. Back training on Thursday, and then they've got a Friday train as well. I think their game's on Sunday, isn't it, or is it Saturday?
Yeah, I think it is a
Um,
Sunday kickoff. I'll have to double check, but I think
is it a
so.
Sunday
Apologies if
kickoff?
that's wrong, but I'm pretty
Um,
sure it is. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's more than enough time, for Son to get back, training and fit for that game.
Brilliant. Okay, and the second midfielder, a much cheaper option, also with some pretty good fixtures on the horizon, Conor Gallagher. He's very in vogue at the moment. 4 goals and 4 assists so far this
Yeah.
season. Abdul, tell me why you think we should still be considering him even at game week 12.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's the second highest scorer in the game at the moment. He's putting up, fantastic stats. If you look at his XG and his XA, he's by far been the best, budget midfielder. And he's not one of those, kind of streaky players where you sometimes get budget options who go through like a little kind of purple patch. And the stats aren't there, but his stats are there as well. He's had something like I think 10 shots in the box, already with I think 15 shots on target. But yeah, he's putting up the stats, and Palace are a totally different team this season under Vieira. Much better going forward. Not the Palace that that we know under Hodgson. So I'm really confident, in Gallagher going forward. And he's also an enabler as well. He's one of those which he could easily sit on your bench, or he could be used as as your 11th player as well.
And I think it is those underlying stats that really set him apart from, previous red herrings that we've seen in seasons gone by. I remember not Gundogan the second time round, but Gundogan the first time round, where he went through that purple patch and didn't really have the stats to back it up. There's been a couple of others as well. It's so interesting that Conor
Yeah,
Gallagher. I mean,
exactly.
really, he's putting up a premium player's stats. If Son was posting these stats, he'd be a lot more highly owned, I'm sure. So yeah,
For sure.
it's certainly one to keep an eye on. There was actually a great comparison article posted today on Fantasy Football Hub. It's free to read, and it compares Smith Rowe and Conor Gallagher. And spoiler alert, I think you probably want to back the Crystal Palace man, because in terms of underlying stats, he certainly has them over his Arsenal counterpart. Right. We finish with a forward who has probably been the most discussed player ahead of game week 12. Abdul, we couldn't really miss him out, could we, after his 7 international break goals? Talk to me about Harry Kane.
Yeah.
He's very expensive. Is he worth his price tag?
Um, yeah, I mean, to answer that in a nutshell, I think yes, over the next 4 or 5 game weeks, he probably is if you're going to captain him. Especially if you're going to captain him in like maybe 1 or 2 games. I think he's definitely going to be captainable in that Norwich game. Um, but yeah, I mean, to be fair, like I mean, I've not picked Harry Kane for this, for his 7 goals over the international break. I mean, we've got to put that into context. It's against San Marino and Albania. With all due respect, but I mean, I guess it will do his confidence. The world of good, I guess. But England are a much different team than Spurs, and obviously they're a much better team than Spurs. So you know. But even saying that, I think just looking at this fixture against Leeds, Leeds are one of the worst defenses in the league. They've always been leaky because we know how they play. They just play to attack, and that's like this was like a tailor-made game, for Conte's style of football, because he loves to play in the counter. He catches teams on the break, and you've got Son and Kane there who are going to be the furthest forward. So yeah, I really feel confident in Kane for this game. And again, same as Son and Reguilon, with the fixtures coming up, I can't see them getting much worse than they've already been. You know what I mean? Just put it that way. I mean, and with a world class manager, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of FPL returns from those boys.
To be fair to Kane, XG of 3.03 and XA of 2.05. If he had 3 goals and 2 assists, which would be 5 attacking returns from 10 appearances so far this season, I think maybe we'd be looking at him a lot more. There'd be a lot more sympathy towards those who are bringing in Kane and paying, what is one of the highest price tags in the game at the moment for him. It feels almost perverse to be doing that for a player that's only had 1 goal and 1 assist, but he is underperforming. I do want to pick you up very quickly, Abdul, on your comment about Leeds' leaky defence, because I'm sure you would have seen plenty of people posting about their recent rigidity. Between game week 7 and 11, they have the lowest expected goals conceded of any team. Only 4.2, which is an average of just over 1 per game, which is very, very impressive for a team that, as you rightly point out, in the first part of the season were incredibly leaky. Do you feel like this is just a defensive flash in the pan for them? Or has something changed there that means we now need to reassess how we look at Leeds?
Yeah, I mean, I seen that stat, and I think that was over a period of quite favourable fixtures. I think it's also seen a stat where their actual defensive record against top 4 teams, was kind of more reminiscent of their overall defence this season, which has been quite poor. And yeah, I think picking out certain, for me, from 7 to 11 rather than the whole season. I think I'd rather look at the whole season because, as you said, it could just be a flash in the pan. It could be a number of factors, but what I look at is their season stats, defensive stats this season, and if we even go back last season as well, even further, we do know that they are leaky, just due to the way they attack and the way they play the game under Bielsa's style. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't look at that and and maybe put off Kane or Son. I just think it's probably a little bit of an anomaly, and I don't think it's enough data to make that sort of decision from.
To be fair, they did play Norwich during that stint, and we all know how good Norwich are at stats padding. Interestingly, also, just incidentally, I've just spotted that Spurs are 4th for total expected goals conceded, i.e. they have the 4th lowest, i.e. they have the 4th strongest defence statistically over the last 4 game weeks, which is interesting and certainly backs your case for Reguilon, Abdul. Right. Thanks so much. Very quickly, Abdul, we will touch on your captain as well, because this did used to be the best captaincy video after all. Who are you going to go for in game week 12?
Take a guess.
Is the clue in the name once again?
Yeah, it's going to be Salah again. I mean, I think I'm not decided yet whether I'm going to get Son or Kane, but I mean, I guess if I had Kane, I'd probably be tempted by him, but I mean, I think I'd still be a bit scared off with it just being, like only their second game under Conte. So yeah, it's going to be Salah again for me.
Yeah, if we were doing the captaincy video, we would have slides on Kane and Son, wouldn't we? But we would ultimately conclude with Salah once again. I think I'll be joining you with giving
most
him
likely,
the armband. Yeah, nice one. All right, mate. Well, lovely speaking to you. Thanks so much for imparting your FPL wisdom. Guys, remember, do go and follow at FPL_Salah for more of this kind of stuff. He also writes our best forwards, midfielders and defenders articles on fantasyfootballhub.co.uk. Every single game week. They are absolutely free to read, so do go and check those out as well. I'll link them down below. Abdul, good luck for game week 12, mate. How was your game week 11, by the way?
Game week 11 was, I've actually I forgot what score I got.
A long time ago,
I
wasn't it?
Yeah. But I got a 2K green arrow. I went from like 43K to 41K. So it was an average game week. I mean, I just wanted to end it like on a green arrow, just because the week before game week 10 was really poor for me. So yeah, it wasn't bad. What about you? I don't actually know
Small,
how you got on
a
actually.
red arrow for me. I was 9k prior to game week 11 and
Right,
finished the game week on 16k. So, again, it's the old cliche of I would have certainly taken it if someone had offered to
for
me at
sure.
the start of the season. So, yes, very happy
Still a great
and
position to be in.
looking forward to game week 12. Let's see how it goes. All
Yeah.
right, mate. Thank you so much. Cheers for watching, guys. Who
Okay.
enjoyed this, do give it a like. And we'll be back next week looking ahead to the best transfers ahead of game week 13. Until then, good luck for your game weeks. Cheers, mate. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye.